Alright, today's video is getting the rear wheel bearings replaced on a 2009 Kia Sorento. I already did one side, but I'm going to show you how to do it on the other side. So I got our new bearings. I'm not going to be able to do them myself because if you look at it, they're pressed in right here, and I don't have the tools to be able to pull them out. So we're going to take them to Napa and get them done and then get them put back in. But I'm going to show you at least how to pull out your axles. First thing we're going to do is take off the caliper, and the caliper bracket has one assembly. So I'm just going to hit the bracket bolts, which are 14 millimeters. Once we got those two bolts off, take off this whole assembly. Try not to pinch the brake line. Just put it off to the side. These oversized screws, they are a Phillips 3. I don't know if you can see that. Phillips 3. So what I got here is I got a bolt that's, I believe it's probably like an M8 by 1.25 that screws into the rotor, and it's pushing. If you look right here, it's going to be pushing the rotor away from the hub. And with the rotor off, now we can start working on taking off this axle. What we're going to be doing is taking off this drum assembly. And to take these off, you reach on the back side, you find where the head of the pin is. You're going to hold that. You're going to compress this, turn it 90 degrees to where this top hat kind of comes off, and the spring. We still have to take off the piece, this bracket back here that holds the cable inside, because the cable's not going to be able to come out with the axle. We've got two 14 millimeter bolts that hold in this parking brake cable. I'll put the bolts back in so I don't forget. Now there's four 14 millimeter bolts that hold the axle assembly onto the solid axle. And with those four nuts taken off, slide the axle right out. And there you go. We have both axles. I initially thought that the bearing was going to be placed in here, and I was going to have to pull it out from here, but I was wrong. Today's a new day. A couple days after I started messing with this, we had to take it to Napa because they're the closest place that can actually do pressed bearings and all that. It was a big old debacle because the ones that we originally had, which were these guys right here, this S513058, they were incorrect. Apparently this is for like the front bearings. At least that's what they said it might happen. The correct bearing, this is from SKF, where it's a GRW244. At least that's what they ordered from Napa. As you can see, I got them butted up against over here on one side, but you can see how much it sticks out as far as this one. This is the drive works that we ordered. 7998. I'll just round it up to 80 millimeter. See, that's a little bit taller. The one that we received was about 76 millimeters, 4 millimeters off, which is enough to realize that it's the wrong part number. No, I'm sorry, the wrong part. And we'll place this in. Now we're going to tighten down these 14 millimeter bolts. Now that we got our hub in, we're going to assemble our whole parking brake assembly. And here I got it laid out more or less how it's going to be. This is facing up, this is down. You got your two retaining clips which hold the brake shoe more or less just in place. They sit right here and right here, and they're just kind of gonna hold it in place. This spring is going to be keeping this outer edge together, so preventing them from coming apart. This is going to be your adjuster, so as you wear it down, it'll accommodate for how wide it's going to get, because as you lose material on both ends, it's going to keep a tight tension on it. It'll this will expand, or it'll rotate, unscrew, and it'll separate, so to speak. And then to make sure that it's always going to be tight against the mating surface. Then you got your big spring over here, does the same thing as this one. And then this piece right here is going to be the hardest part to put back in. This sits in this little groove right here, and this is going to be for your parking brake cable. She grabs onto this fish hook, and it's going to be placed like this, and inside the assembly is going to be right here. So as these two pieces are going to be locked into the shoes, and the only thing that can happen is this gets pulled. This expansion from here and here is going to get wider, which is going to start pushing on the shoes to get tight. So you can see how it gets wider, 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 and that's what's going to lock in your parking brake. Now we're going to go ahead and put the rotor back on. Now we can go ahead and put this caliper back on after you compress the piston. We got one side done. Now I just got to do the other side. It's going to be exactly the same, just on the opposite. But yeah, that's how you take off these axles. I initially thought they're going to be the ones that I got to use a slide hammer to pull it out. But as you saw, this one's completely different, and it's built in, the hub assembly is built into the actual axle. So in our predicament, you had to take it on Napa to get it pressed out, since I didn't have the press and all that here. But at least you know what you're getting into when you do this job, because I didn't see any other videos on this Kia Sorento. So hopefully it helps you guys.